Okay, good afternoon, Year 10. So today we're going to be looking at the greenhouse effect, which hopefully you started to have a look at during Friday's lesson with that article that I posted on Google Classroom, but we'll look at it in a bit more detail during this video lesson. So what the greenhouse effect is I've sketched a diagram of it here. In the atmosphere, there are certain gases, which includes, for example, methane, CH4, water vapour, H2O, nitrous oxide, N2O, and also carbon dioxide, CO2. So gases like that, these trap heat energy. So naturally, heat energy gets to Earth from the sun, and from the surface, a lot of it reflects away. But however, the greenhouse gases trap some of the heat trying to escape Earth and keep it reflected back towards Earth's surface. So as a result, that increases Earth's temperature. Furthermore, there's heat radiating from inside Earth coming up through the core and the mantle of Earth. Again, that would normally just try and leave Earth through the atmosphere, but again, these greenhouse gases trap some of it, sending it back to Earth. So the effect of these gases trapping the heat and reflecting it back to Earth is what we call the greenhouse effect, and that raises Earth's temperature. We call that the greenhouse effect because it functions a bit like a greenhouse that you may find in some people's gardens. The glass in that traps heat from escaping, keeping it warmer, which helps plants grow. So we say the greenhouse effect because, like the glass traps the heat in the greenhouse, the gases trap the heat for Earth. So this greenhouse effect is a naturally occurring process, and if we didn't have the greenhouse effect, Earth would actually be too cold to sustain life. So for all the time since the atmosphere has been forming, things like water vapor and carbon dioxide have been trapping heat in Earth. So that aspect of it is natural. However, human processes are really, really impacting the amount of greenhouse gases released, and therefore we as humans are enhancing the greenhouse effect. So it happening is natural, but what humans are doing to it means it's happening a lot more rapidly and trapping a lot more heat than it should be doing. So, for example, we said in our lessons on the carbon cycle that fossil fuels contain lots of carbon dioxide. So when we burn them, that gets released into the atmosphere, and that also releases nitrous oxide as well. I put here that deforestation is another thing that releases carbon dioxide. So deforestation is when we chop down trees. When that happens, the carbon trapped inside of them gets released, and we also lose an organism that's capable of trapping carbon dioxide inside of it. I put here that agricultural processes result in methane being released. You can see that's meant to be a cow there. That's why I'm a science teacher, not an art teacher. But cows actually produce lots and lots of methane through their digestive systems. So when we clear forested areas to make farms for animals like cows, that actually results in a really big impact on the environment, because not only are we losing trees, by farming cows we cause more methane to be released. And other human processes can also result in other greenhouse gases, like, for example, CFCs. CFCs is short for chlorofluorocarbons, which are a artificial gas that can really enhance this greenhouse effect as well. They used to be very common. These CFCs used to be really common in things like fridges. Fortunately, we don't use them as much anymore, but some processes still make them. So as I've put there, the climate change being caused by these greenhouse gases warming up Earth is having a really severe impact on natural environments, and that's something we'll be looking at in upcoming weeks. So that just gives you a brief summary of the greenhouse effect. Please make sure you also look through the slides that I put on Google Classroom and then have a go at the work that I put up. And as ever, if you need any help, I will be available on Zoom all the way through the lesson. Okay, thanks.